Was this a simple pass of turn from Carl? That is not boding well for him. Lava Spike for lethal?
No, Lava Spike to 1 with a Grim Lava Mancer. And it looks like Carl's needing to force the Lava Spike.
Bad position to be in. Mirrodin Mountains originally.
Yeah, Graveborn used Innistrad and then a few others.
Spell Pierce, pay 2. Has been done. Days. So Matt can pay the 1, but that will turn off his Lava Mancer for the turn. Does he realise that there's a combat step? Or once again, an Inkwell Nexus and a Pendelhaven.
Fire Blast, last card in hand, calling it now.
Mountain, last card in hand. Carl with the scoop. That looks like the end. 2-1 to Matt Vaughan.
Okay, it looks like we have Burn versus Rug.
Format staples.
Looks like we're going to have we are going to take a quick break. Okay, we do have confirmation that Carlisle was in fact on 3 life there.
Ah, righto.
And so we do have our final game coming up very shortly. We are going to take a quick break. Then other than that, we will be going back straight into the final match between Rug and Burn, Graham King versus Matthew Vaughan, and we'll see you soon. Hi, and welcome back to Next Level Games Eternal Masters Legacy Final. We've fought through 7 rounds, plus top 8, top 4.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long day. Our American friends just were saying goodnight to us when we started. Now that they're up and at their busy work days, we're just finishing.
It's a weekend. They can stay up late and watch, right?
That sounds all good. We had a big field out today. We had 67 players out in the end, 33 tables plus a bye. Originally, the biggest deck was obviously Omniscience going in, followed by Miracles. Those were the 2 big event decks. Everyone was expecting those to do well, still being able to use Dig Through Time after Treasure Cruise has been restricted.
Yeah, look, both of those very big in the Melbourne meta. Death and Taxes as the follow-up as the Melbourne favourite.
Yeah, it's very indicative of Melbourne, and even with a whole Australia coming down to play as well. Did we have any internationals this year? We had one last year.
International, I'm not sure, actually.
Either way, we do have the very final is going to be Graham King versus Matthew Vaughan. That's Rug Delver versus Burns. So Graham King did manage to fight his way. Not only did he end up in 5th position all up, he managed to win his top 8 match against a shardless Esper list, choosing to have white coming in from the sideboard for swords and a couple of other.
Meddling Mage.
Meddling Mage being the key card.
Very good against the Omnitel decks.
Yep, and managed to fight his way through Omnitel in the top 4. Which was another set of 3 games, but he did manage to get there in the end. Matthew Vaughan, on the other hand, went to 3 games against Rug Delver in the top 8. Now, Matthew, I do believe, ended up third on breakers with 16 points, which basically he was an ID in. And then finally, after he beat Rob Gascard in the top 8 on Rug Delver, he managed to defeat Carl Iyer with Infect in the top 4. So it'll be a very interesting matchup between the 2 players. Overall, it was a very good event.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a diverse meta, well-run event, judged by arguably the best judge in Australia. I'd argue myself, of course, but you know.
Yeah, other people would argue for him. No, big shout out to our head judge, Stephen Fry as well.
Simon
Fry.
Just Fry.
Fry. And as well as Lachlan Saunders, who was our assistant head judge, or assistant judge.
Yep.
It was a great event all day, run by Next Level Games, obviously, as well as the stream here was set up by Sneak and Show. And I think we're about to go down into our game.
Shout outs to our chat. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, where are we all from? We do have a couple of people who were wandering over.
Yeah, look, I'm local.
I'm local. We had a couple of people wondering. We had a few Americans working. Stephen Fry. Okay. We do have a slight delay. One of our players is missing, and he will be located and put in his seat very shortly. Other than that, how do you think about the meta going forward from here? Do you think this is very representative of what we're going to continue to see in Melbourne and indeed worldwide, or is this just a combination of things? No combo, guys. No combo here today at all.
Look, Melbourne will never change. It'll be Miracles and Death and Taxes forever. Here we are, down at the table. We see the prize on the side there, the Mox Sapphire. That's definitely not in play.
Burn with its one of Sensei's Divining Top here. This Burn deck is slightly headed more towards the late game. It does have a Sensei's Divining Top. It does have 2 Grim Lavamancer, as we've spoken about before. Cards that could have taken the place or are taking the place of what could just be more Lightning Bolt variants, Shock variants.
Yeah.
But Graham, on the other hand, Rug Delver list is basically stock as Rug Delver can be, at least in the main board. You've got your usual lands, 3 Trop, 3 Volk, 4 Waste, 8 Fetches, your usual 12 creatures of Delver, Tarmogoyf, Mongoose, 4 Brainstorm Ponder, Force, Daze, Lightning Bolt, Stifle, and the 6 flex slots are Spell Snare, Spell Pierce, and Forked Bolt, all 2 obs.
And Fast and Furious, we've got a Nimble Mongoose turn 1 from the Delver player. Turn 2, Matt Vaughan throwing out a Lava Spike. Get the damage going fast. We've got the Sapphires at the top and bottom of the table. Why not? Is it a Sapphire for second too, and a Sapphire and Moat for first? That'd be sweet.
No, I do believe that this is the case of where that may be Graham King's own Sapphire on the top.
Right. Oh, so they're anteing?
Oh, maybe anteing Sapphire versus Moat. I don't mind that.
Brainstorm from Graham. The perfect storm, the fetch land there to finish it off.
Nimble Mongoose, obviously the second best threat in his deck against Burn. It does have Shroud, but unfortunately it just doesn't get as big as a Tarmogoyf. Obviously, at this point, you'd rather a Nimble Mongoose, but as the turns go on, you'd rather the Tarmogoyf.
I tell you what's going to be big in this matchup. It's a 4 of in the Burn deck. It's called Price of Progress.
Price of Progress. Obviously, Graham using no basics main, and he has no basics in the board either. So he really has to watch what lands hit the table, because unless he wants to waste himself, they're not going away, and they are going to deal a lot of damage to him for every price that is cast.
Graham can definitely be caught here with 3 lands in play. If you play a Wasteland, you're only playing it to protect yourself from Price of Progress. Daze becomes an even more important spell than ever before. See, another Lava Spike from Matt Vaughan. Nothing fancy, just simple,
and the Burn
straightforward.
deck does what Burn does.
What, burning?
It burns.
Graham down to 15. 2 damage from his own fetches. Matt's loving this.
Now he's just sitting there. Can you thought seize me now?
And a Spell Pierce from Graham into the 2 open mana from Matt. Simply buying time, I believe. If Matt had more spells to cast this turn, his plans will have to wait.
Well, the Lava Spikes can only go to the head, so there's no point not casting them. It's not like he's going to be using them as removal on a Delver or removal on a Tarmogoyf if he's trying to double bolt that.
Yeah, correct.
So the Lava Spike, just cast him, get him out of the way. It's not like he's going to be playing around the late game Lava Spike.
Yeah. Duke, I'm hoping that that's a photo of the, what's the Delve guy from Fate Reforged?
Oh, Gurmag Angler?
No, the guy that gets the abilities of guys you delve with it.
I do not know.
Someone's going to have to hit me up with that. What's the name of the guy? You delve him, and he gets the keyword abilities of the things that you delve. A mythic rare from Fate Reforged, I believe. We see the Goose here, still coming in only for 1.
Jimbo, we're playing Legacy here. We
Yeah,
don't play these newfangled delve spells. Oh, wait.
Are you sure? Is Tassica good? Is Treasure Cruise banned?
Treasure Cruise is banned. Is Dig Through Time good?
Yeah.
We've seen Gurmag Angler go for the...
Soul Flayer, thank you very much, chat. Oh, Pure Steel Paladin, sweet. Soul Flayer's only a rare? What are they doing?
Pay 1 life to stop 2. And that's a Daze there pitched.
Yeah, look, Daze is running out here. There's 4 lands in play. Not much you can really do with it. Revealing a Lightning Bolt to Delver. So that's a definite increase in the speed of the clock here. And it looks like the Goose is in fact loose.
Okay, so it looks like he chose to, just a little out of order sequencing there, but he chose to draw the Lightning Bolt and then shuffle.
I'm not sure if he did draw the bolt.
No, the bolt is now in his hand.
Okay. If he didn't, I would like to know why. Bolt seems like the perfect draw here. Yeah, Soul Flayer in Standard, hitting Chromatic Core. In Modern, you hit things like a Chroma. In Legacy, haven't seen it yet. Yet. Someone surprise me. Build me a brew, I'll play it next time.
Will you?
No. Nothing will take me away from Goblin Lackey. Swinging across for 6, Matt down to 11. That is a 2-turn clock currently. Although if the bolt is in hand, then it could
That bolt
easily
is
be
definitely in hand.
dead next turn. Graham with the mismatching volcanic islands. Solid strategy.
Only the best kind of volcanic islands mismatch.
Do you reckon he has the full playset? Revised,
Gets a
unlimited,
land.
beta, and alpha?
Nope, because he's only playing 3.
Ah, I see. So which one does he not have?
He's got to have, only real men have alpha, beta, and FBB.
Is Graham a real man?
Clearly not.
Oh. Sorry to tell you, Graham. Goblin Flayer, haste protection from blue. You know what? Sign me up. I'm done. We're good. Maybe I can play Soul Flayer in goblins.
You already have a pro blue goblin that seems a lot better.
Does Soul Flayer get protection?
The Rug Delver actually holding on here a lot better. The Rug deck actually holding on a lot better than I initially expected. I expected the Burn deck to simply just walk over Rug, at least in game 1. And it is looking like that Fire Blast is going to do a lot of damage here.
Day's looking a little bit better now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus that 8, 9, 10.
Let's just keep throwing bolts at him. Yeah, Snagger, I'm aware of that. I'm trying to see if Josh was aware of that too. There is, in fact, no Alpha Volcanics.
Actually, I thought there was beta volcanics that came in a couple of starters that were alpha cut. They're technically beta, but they're alpha cut.
Interesting. If you pass me a beta volcanic, I can make it alpha cut.
Pair of toenail clippers.
No, there's no Shrapnel Blast here. Sensei's top just a sign of respect to the Miracles decks and the slower meta in Melbourne. There's a lot more control than there is combo decks.
Yes, and so Graham here is on 1 with a bolt aimed at his head. He has brainstormed. Has he found a card? Daze. Fetch to pay for it.
Was that 3 bolts? Is that...
Yep.
Does that... Was there enough red?
No, so Matthew was on 11 and he had 2 red up.
Right, yeah.
So he was dead next turn.
Okay. Matt taking the first game should be fairly confident moving into game 2, up a game. What do we got in the sideboards here? What's Graham got there?
Well, I don't think Graham's going to be bringing in the Reb or the Pyro. He could be thinking of bringing in a Vendilion Click if he's hoping to fight the Burn deck on the stack.
Mhm.
It also provides an alternate clock. Submerge, again, not useful. 2 Rough and Tumble. It is a way of getting rid of Goblin Guide and Grim Lavamancer, but it depends on what he really wants to take out, and I don't think it's that much. Ancient Grudge and is it Staticaster, so there really is not much. Basically the click, and if he wants the Rough and Tumbles, the Rough and Tumble.
Yeah, look, Vendilion Click would be pretty good on my list. On the other hand, from Matt Vaughan, his sideboard contains some Relic of Progenitus, Smash to Smithereens, Vexing Shusha, Pyrostatic Pillar, a Grim Lavamancer, Barbarian Ring, Sulfuric Vortex, and Searing Blood.
So those relics are definitely coming in.
I'd be expecting the relics, the Vexing Shushas perhaps.
The Lavamancer.
Pyrostatic Pillar's pretty sweet here, so he's got a lot of sideboarding options. He could go any which way with this.
Yeah, 100% those relics are coming in. The Burn deck can't get past a Goyf. It can go around it, but it can't get past one.
Yeah, I know the feeling. There's also 3 Destructive Revelry in the sideboard for Graham. Those could come in. They destroy Eidolon of the Great Revel and some number of sideboard cards. A sweet standard card, thank you very much. This looks like a bunch of sideboarding.
Yeah, the burn deck, as we said, had quite a few things it could bring in. Maybe he's choosing to bring them all in and
Yeah.
just play the control role.
There's a bunch of different directions he can go. Vexing Shusha if he wants to make sure that all of his spells stick. Relic of Progenitus to fight off the green creatures. Pyrostatic Pillars a line he could take. Lavamancer, Sulfuric Vortex. Even Searing Blood's okay. Man, I'm glad I didn't play against this today. We see the prizes there featured in the center of the table. The Mox Sapphire for first. Is that an English mode?
I do believe it is an English mode for second.
So now we have them at the top, the bottom, and the center of the table.
Maybe it's 3 sapphires.
Maybe. So first gets one of these piles. Sorry, 2 of these piles, and second gets 1 of these piles. It's double or nothing, you see.
Well, that's double or one.
Double or one, that'll do fine, right?
You know what? I'd be happy with second. Graham actually was our finalist. Unfortunately, our second place player in last night's vintage event, playing Bomberman. He lost in game 3 to, I'd say, pretty poor draw on his part, to Espresso Stacks, with Smoke Stacks and Tangle Wires. It was a great run to see him all the way through. He managed to absolute draw God hands all the way through until the finals, where his deck just failed him.
Yeah, look, he's got a habit of drawing insanely good hands when it matters.
Game 1 of his semi-finals opponent, he went Mox, Lotus, Ancestral, Land, Jace, Brainstorm, Force, something you played. And
that said, if you do stumble, Espresso is going to be the deck to catch you when you fall.
Mm-hmm.
You can't mess up against many brands of workshops and expect to come out of it alive.
Graham electing not to play, nor Matthew, in our 93-94 tournament that you can find the VODs for under past broadcasts for Sneak and Show.
Yeah, the judge for the Masters weekend went home for the 93-94 and left me with the job, which was a bunch of fun. I am definitely looking forward to more 93-94.
I can definitely recommend, if you're having a 93-94 tournament, to have the coverage sitting right next to the players doing the commentary. It makes for a very, very fun casual atmosphere.
What you need to do is get the feature match table and the commentary booth and make them one and the same.
You just can't have the commentators playing the game.
You could.
Just telling the players what to do.
I tell you what, if you're a GP tournament organizer and you're watching, look into 93-94, get it in your side event schedule. The format is sweet and full of laughs. Also stick with Legacy, this format's sweet.
And Vintage, better than all.
Yeah. Ready for opening hands. So what is Graham looking for? What does his Dream 7 consist of?
Early huge Tarmogoyf, and then cheap Disruption.
Sure. And no Wastelands ever.
And no Wastelands ever.
Does he sideboard out Wasteland? It may as well be blank in this matchup.
One of the big things with the Rug deck is, even with its mana base as is, it's very, sometimes, because you're designed to operate on only 1 or 2 lands, getting rid of a Wasteland or 2 may be right, but taking out 4 I can't see as correct.
Sure.
Just your consistency in casting your 2-drops will just plummet very quickly.
That's reasonable.
Nimble Mongoose is probably one of his better ones, provided he can get all the way down, get 2 Threshold and have the 3/3. While it's just a 1/1, Matthew can just laugh at it.
Yeah. My dream here would probably be something like a cantrip turn 1, a Tarmogoyf turn 2, and follow up with some cantrips and a Nimble Mongoose on turn 3. Here we see a fetch land into a Nimble Mongoose on turn 1.
1 out of 7 for Mongoose.
All it takes is a Daze on a turn 1 burn spell. Do you counter this?
Well, the only relevant counter he's going to have Daze and Force. Daze, I think I do.
No counter. Reveals the top card, Tarmogoyf, part 2 of the puzzle. Graham deciding whether he wants to block here. Does elect to. Not confident in the goose's ability to get loose anytime soon. Untaps, fetch land. There's that Tarmogoyf that we saw on top of the deck.
It is only a 2/3 currently.
Currently, does that mean you could lightning bolt it?
I don't think Matthew's going to fall for that. Could bolt chain it.
Could, definitely.
Bear in mind that being Rug, this is one of the decks that can actually send back a chain.
Yeah. Any viewers got experience in this matchup, Rug versus Burn? Is it a good matchup in one direction or the other?
I think Burn is just ages ahead of Rug. It's just much quicker. Obviously, that Goblin Guide is not going to be great. Well, but in the face of a Relic of Progenitus.
May have spoken too soon. I mean, that said, I'm not sure if he could even block the Goblin Guide right here. If he blocked and ran into a burn spell, it'd be too rough. And Relic of Progenitus is as good as a burn spell.
So do you... No, he's played the land.
Rug favoured? What pushes it in Rug's favour? Is it the Hexproof and the Tarmogoyf? We see a suspended Rift Bolt here. A coin flip. Who was on the play? Who was higher in the Swiss here? Was it Graham?
Higher in the Swiss was Matthew. Matthew came into the Swiss in 3rd place, Graham in 4th.
Right. Looks like that may have actually been relevant in Game 1. It came down to every resource, so... We see a Brainstorm here in Graham's main phase.
Graham here pondering his options on which cards he wants to put back.
And a passive turn back. Tarmogoyf not attacking, not blocking, the classic.
Rift Bolt gets spell pierced. Matthew Vaughan, if he plays the same way he's been playing up until now.
Again going for the Time Walk version of Spell Pierce. Simply tap you out, you can cast one spell this turn. And Matt electing not to. Draws for turn. He also chose not to tap the Relic of Progenitus at the end of turn.
So what you're saying is Spell Pierce is basically a Time Walk. Spell Pierce is as good as Time Walk?
Yeah, look, there's no basically about it. It's half the cost. I think Spell Pierce is as good as Time Walk. Feel free to tell me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Fair enough, I can't argue with that. So the Tarmogoyf quite large now. Sorcery, instant, land, creature. But Matt about to put an end to that. None of that. We now have a 0/1 Tarmogoyf ready to block. He elected not to pay because he wanted to be able to attack through and activate his relic, it seems. He might also have another 1 mana spell ready to go here.
I'm looking for the price this turn with the tapped Wasteland.
Yeah, if I was Matt, I'd definitely be... If I was Matt and I'm holding a Price of Progress, I would definitely be happy here. A Ponder from Graham, with a fetch land there. Tarmogoyf back up to a 2/3, with a land there ready to go in if it's needed. 3rd land. Important for the Price of Progress plan. Eidolon of the Great Revel. Does that hit every card in the Delver deck except Force of Will? Is that correct?
I do believe so.
Well then. Even the sideboard except Submerge, which is not in.
It's Dazed, which is just paid for, which gets a land off the table in case of the aforementioned price.
Yeah, Graham could potentially take 0 here from Price of Progress.
He will take 1 from the fetch land.
Okay, I'll buy that. Forked Bolt here, 2 to the Eidolon. Growing the Tarmogoyf, nom nom nom. We
Graham
have
taking 2.
creature instant sorcery, enchantment, land ready to go, and a goose. Interesting, the Goblin Guide did not attack there.
Nor the Tarmogoyf.
The standoff. Matt with the draw go. Graham on 14 and no attacks being made, no burn spells being thrown. You've got to feel like you're in an okay position if you're Graham.
Graham only 4 cards in his graveyard, I believe, so that Nimble Mongoose is not a 3/3.
Correct, it's a 1/1. There's 2 cards ready to go in the land base, and then all it takes is any cantrip, and that'll get it going. Your wish is our command. Goyf is in the red zone.
Hello.
4/5 currently. Land sitting there waiting, taunting us. Will he see it? He does. So Tarmogoyf is a 5/6. Lava Axe is a good card, I've heard.
It's Lava Axe for 2.
Is that called Lightning Axe?
Whereas Lightning Axe the one you got to discard a card?
Yeah, and it only hits creatures.
It's great for Grizzlebrand and Modern. Oh, you're going to split a twin me? Lightning Axe, discard Grizzlebrand, reanimate with Goryo's Vengeance?
I see the kind of player you are. What would you have been playing today if you were playing Josh? And you at home?
If I were playing right now, I would be on... Actually, I couldn't borrow Graham's Goyfs, which is what I usually borrow to play Legacy.
Right,
I'd probably be playing some kind of Tezzeret Shell, if not a Storm Shell.
Also important to note here, you're correct, none of those moats are in play. Perhaps that was why the Tarmogoyf was not attacking. Are we going to see a self-wasteland here? So that wasteland is in the graveyard. The activated ability is on the stack targeting his own volcanic island. And here we see the Price of Progress. 6 to Graham, none to Matt. And you know what that means for the goose?
It's loose.
It is loose.
On 4, Fire Blast.
That's it.
Not there.
That
Matthew
is
Vaughan.
it.
Graham taking 2nd place.
Consistency. I'll tell you what, is there a price for the person who goes the best across all 3 events?
There is. The Master of Masters prize is there for those who want to play in all 3 events, or 3 of the 4 events. Unfortunately, our 93-94 event does not count towards Master of Masters.
Graham in good position to win Master of Masters. Jacob, who came first yesterday, ended up somewhere in 20-something? Is that correct?
Jacob Dunn, I don't think he did that well.
No?
I'm just trying to pull him up here. I do only have 51st today with 6 points.
Right. Well, here we are in the booth. I'm Jimbo. This is Josh. We've had a great time commenting Legacy Masters for 2015. Are we getting Matt in the booth here for a chat?
We'll try and get Matt in the booth very shortly, but once again, this is Eternal Masters Weekend brought to you by Next Level Games and sponsored, or at least streamed here by Sneak and Show. They're the ones who provided all the equipment here, so that's great of them to do that. We are going to try and get Matthew in here, but overall, what did you think of the day?
It was a sweet day. 66 is the largest we've ever had in Australia for Legacy.
I do believe we outbeat GP Sydney 2014, which was 63.
Wow. So it's
and
an improvement
61 in Melbourne the year before.
The largest in Melbourne by far. Largest for Masters by far. And yesterday it was also a record breaker, so let's see if we can break the record again tomorrow.
Yeah, 50 players for Sanctioned Vintage yesterday. That was equivalent. That was the equivalent highest vintage event we've had since I think it's 2010.
That's impressive.
2010 was Legends, which was the very first event for this.
Yeah.
This series, which became known as Masters in 2011, 2012, 13, 14, 15. But I believe the vintage had 50 in 2010.
All right. Well, Eternal definitely alive and well in Australia. We're going to have an interview with the winner very shortly. Did you have any awesome things on coverage today? I've missed out on the coverage. I've been busy turning Goblin Lucky sideways.
And putting in siege gangs.
Putting in siege gangs, putting in ringleaders.
No,
what did I miss?
We didn't have anything really cool and new and exciting on the stream. There were a few interesting decks potted around the room. We did have a White Raid Painter deck on the bubble.
Okay.
Unfortunately, a misplay from him meant that he was not able to make it into the top 8, or at least contention for the top 8. He didn't see the interaction where he had a active welder in play.
Yep.
He had the Painter's Servant in play.
Okay.
And there was a Grindstone in his graveyard. He didn't see that he could end of turn swap them in his upkeep or main phase whenever, activate Grindstone, weld it out for the Painter's Servant to make everything blue, and then win that way, just past the turn. He missed that.
Pretty deep plays, yeah.
And which meant that he lost game 3 on the win and in bubble, which may have put his breakers high enough to make it into top 8. It wasn't guaranteed even if he won, but unfortunately didn't quite make it there.
I'll tell you what, there was a lot of new players in the room today. I played against at least one person in their first Legacy event. One of our top players, Rob Gascard, was in his first Legacy event. Man, I'm going to keep saying vintage. I know of at least 2 or 3 other people that were in their first ever Legacy event. Either with borrowed decks or with their own decks, and it was very cool to see some new faces around. Hopefully they stick around and play in more of the Legacy events through Melbourne.
It's interesting. I just noticed that while we've been stating the whole time that Omni Show has been the highest ranking or played by the most people, 10% of the field, followed by Miracles just behind it. If you want to aggregate the Grixis decks, there is 1/6 of the field is on some sort of Delver deck.
Yeah.
Between Bug, Berg, Grixis, straight blue-red, we had a full 10 players on that macro archetype.
Yeah, sure. I played against one of them, a Bug Delver player. Very new to the format, had to read Goblin Pile Driver and Goblin Lackey after they had connected with him, unfortunately.
Oh no.
Yeah. But he had a good day, it seemed like, so that's good.
Yeah, it was interesting that there was, as I was saying earlier, a distinct lack of combo in the room. We only had one copy of Tendrils of Agony in 67 deck lists.
That's not representative of the format, I believe.
We did have a couple of Elves lists. There was some interesting 1-ofs and 2-ofs. We did have a deck, kind of a Nick Fit base, but had elected to put in Scape Shift.
Yeah, look, I'm glad I didn't come up against that one. The Nick Fit shell is so sweet. You get to play Hunt Masters or Thragtusks or any other green creature that you desire.
No, the whole point about that deck is that it is a deck that you can play Cabal Therapy in. That's not Dredge.
No, definitely.
The other cards are irrelevant. You just play Cabal Therapy.
But Thragtusk...
Cabal Therapy is good.
You're not enough...
Thragtusk is...
You're not enough of a Timmy, Josh.
I am not enough of a Timmy. Please, put more copies of Tendrils into this event.
There was at least a Brain Freeze.
There was a Brain Freeze.
There was a High Tide player.
List.
Looks like we have a winner. Welcome, Matt. We'll squish up here, find some room for you. Here's a microphone.
It has been turned on. People will be able to hear you.
Cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You got the prize there. Willing to show it off on camera here?
Yeah, first bit of power.
Nice.
So good. Is it nice and fresh?
Yeah, reasonably so. There's a little bit of damage on the...
Oh, take it back, get a new one.
Nah, it's fine. Still playable.
How was your day?
Yeah, stressful.
Stressful?
Woke up 7:45, like 15 minutes before I had to get on the train.
Okay.
Well done.
Yeah, threw everything together, came here. Seemed to work pretty well.
That's
Sweet.
How did you? Who did you face during the day? Do you recall?
Okay, game 1 I played against. This is going to be tough.
If you can't remember, just skip through.
Game 1 I played against Jund.
Jund, the punishing Jund or the Jund depths?
Punishing Jund.
Okay.
And Price of Progress is pretty strong in that matchup.
Yeah,
Got me
is-
both games. Still.
Is Deathrite Sham the only issue there? The life gain on that one?
Yeah, game 2 I was locked on one land, kept a reasonably weak hand,
Mhm.
and Liliana upticked to 6 before I could find my second land, but
Oof.
still somehow got there.
What about for the rest of the day?
Game 2, Omnitel.
You want to move over a bit more?
Sorry. Omnitel. Game 1, pretty cruisy. Game 2, he tried to force all the Vixen Shusher.
Ooh.
That's
Well,
right. He's
on
allowed to
Mulligan
do
to
that.
6.
Free him to Turak.
Pretty much. And then just keep
Him to
swinging in
Turak
with
doesn't
it.
cost 1 life.
Well, yeah. Free 1 damage too.
Yeah. So that was pretty good. Game 3, I can't remember. Oh no, game 3 is on camera. And everybody can see how badly I played and really my last turn.
Is that
Oh,
the...
that was the one that you bolt on last turn. Your opponent's on 3 life. Is that correct?
No. It was, opponent, Ricardo was on 15.
Okay.
4 tapped Jules. Liliana, he's like, I'm dead on board. Has Middling Mage on Riftbolt, which was suspended.
Okay.
I have a Divining Top in play. So tap Mountain, look for Price of Progress. Not there. Crack Fetch. Look for Price of Progress. It's not there, but a fetch lands on the top. Draw Fetch for turn. Crack Fetch. Price is on top, so I can go Bolt, Blast, Price for exactly 15.
That's quite impressive. Now, we did make some comment on that Sensei's Divining Top. How did that treat you all day?
It's really awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's really good in the grindy control matchups because you can just sit there, slow playing spells. You can play around days quite easily as well, just going 1 spell a turn and then just spin top. Fetch lands are pretty good at getting rid of dead cards as well. And fetch lands are already going to be in there for Grim Lavamancer and Searing plays. So it seems just a strict improvement to put 1 in there.
Okay, you wouldn't want to go up any higher?
Nah, drawing multiples is quite bad.
Okay, what about the rest? You would have ID'd one of
I
the top...
did round 7 because
final round? Yep.
Yeah, final
so you
round.
went into third. What about rounds 5 and 6?
Round 5 I lost to Joe on Etal.
Yep,
Yeah.
so that was your first loss?
Yeah, first loss. He killed me on turn 2, game 1. Which is pretty rough, like he was on the play.
Burn's not that quick.
Couldn't win a dice roll till round 6. Still somehow I get there. Game 2 just crushes me because I had a slow hand.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And round 6, played against Landstill. It's a pretty good matchup.
Which version? There was a few different
There's
colours.
just the straight blue-red
Okay.
Landstill. And he had very slow hands and Goblin Clyde just crushed him.
oh, the standstill deck had slow hands, did it?
Yeah,
Unheard of.
it was very easy for me to just get there if I
Yeah.
land a threat.
Seems like a good matchup.
Yeah, and your top 8 match, Rob Gascard, Rug Delver.
No, he was against Socrates in the top.
Oh,
eight.
Socrates.
Yes.
Oh, that's the
But
wrong way
yeah,
around.
Rugdelver.
Socrates, Stavropoulos.
Yeah.
What was it like knocking him out?
It was pretty tense. Like all the
That
top
was
eight-
the 3 life. Do I have Bolt on top?
yeah.
We just turned to that. The other game next to you had just finished, and then we said, "Oh, what's happening? He seems to have lots of. Oh, they're shuffling up. There must have been a bolt on top."
Yeah. Got lucky, drew the bolt. There's probably 20 of them in there for me to get away with it.
Is Rug a good matchup or a bad one?
It's tough. Like, game 1 it seems reasonably okay if I'm on the play. It's a little bit tougher on the draw. Like, while Goblin Guide is really good on the play, if Rug gets like stifle on my fetch, that seems pretty rough.
Yep.
If they daze or like counter my first turn and or second turn threat, it's very hard to punch through a Timoglyph.
Yeah.
And it's 4 turns, you can't really race that.
Yeah, you got to play super tight.
Yeah.
And what about Infect?
In fact, I got lucky. Straight up got lucky. Like, in fact, there's a grindy matchup. I think it's slightly favoured for Infect, slightly more so because Carl's quite a good player. Yeah, basically just got lucky there to get a slow hand game 1, and I could just get there game 3.
Sounds all good. Well, thank you very much for coming in, running through your matchups. Any particular thoughts on Burn going forward?
Yeah, really sweet deck.
Play spells, aim them at your opponent.
If you can count to 20, you can play Burn.
You back tomorrow for Highlander?
Nah,
No? Legacy only?
Legacy only. It was like one of the 3 days I could go. Seems
Right.
to be pretty good for me today.
Yeah, well,
Okay, fantastic. Well, you enjoy your Mock Sapphire.
Cool, thank you.
Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and
Will do.
we'll see you soon.
Cool. Catch you later.
For those who have just tuned in, this is the Next Level Games Eternal Masters event. We just have Matthew Vaughan, who has just walked away with a Mock Sapphire for winning the 67-player Legacy event with Burn. Remember to come in tomorrow, guys. Tune in tomorrow, guys. We do have the Highlander event. So that is Australian Highlander. Or, sorry, Aussie Singleton. We do have Australian Highlander. It's Highlander, one-of-a-kind format, as you would, I don't know, EDH or something like that. We do use a points list, so maximum 7 points in a deck. Obviously, your 7 points can be anything from Black Lotus with 4, any of the Moxen with 3, DT 3, Soul Ring 3. Your 2s are your channels, your Gifts Ungiven. Gifts is only 1 now.
Gifts went down to 1.
Your Library of Alexandrias.
Skull Clamp is 2.
And your 1 points, your Force of Wills, your Mystical Tutors. So we're going to be looking at a great format. It's the only format we know where...
I've been told Carlisle is 1 point. This just in from the rules committee.
It's the only format where Zoo will be playing against Tinker, will be playing against Channel Lich's Mirror, against Tendrils,
Against Splinter Twin.
against Splitter Twin, USA Splitter Twin, versus the best deck in the format, Tomato Control. Mono Red Control, I will say, best deck.
Are you playing tomorrow?
I am not playing tomorrow. I'll be in here doing this with whoever I can rope along to sitting in here with me for 6 hours.
Seems reasonable.
That's right. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Remember, this is Next Level Games out at Dandenong. They're the guys running this event, and we have Sneak and Show doing the coverage. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for tuning in.